Okay, so we just started recording it. Anybody else that couldn't make this, or if you'd like to review it, we'll make sure to get the link to the recording sent out to everybody. So again, OnSite is about finding active prospects. So first of all, what does it do for you? That's the most important thing here. This is meant to be a companion to your existing marketing efforts, and all of the household brands I'll share with you that are already using this have not necessarily thrown out anything else that they were already doing. This is a complement. This is a way to find additional leads and the way to find additional business to the efforts that you're already doing. So you've heard all of the lead gen promises. I myself probably get 5 a day on better ways to find leads, more ways to drive your business. So we know that you've heard all the promises around lead gen. So we're going to leave this really up to you. We feel this is a much better way. This is, again, a good companion to what you're doing, but it's really going to have to come down to you, because we know you get hammered on these promises daily. So what's different about ours? What's different about ours is we're defining and identifying prospects who are looking actively online right now for mortgages. And I'll show you more about that, and connecting you to them faster than your competition does, hopefully faster than they even know that they're looking. And we do all of this by delivering your personalized messages to them with 0 effort on your part. Those are our 3 promises. So how's that work? Well, again, we're identifying an individual that is looking online within the last 7 days for very specific things. They're proving that they're looking right now. So they may type in any number of over 100 different keyword terms that are set up, such as mortgage lenders near me or home loan calculator. Someone types in those keywords and they're in your specific area, we will be able to identify the individual. Or beyond that, we've got another person, Robert Hastings, joining us. In addition to that, we also have the ability to identify if they go to or type in your competitor's name. So if they type in Rocket Mortgage, or if they go to Rocket Mortgage and they're on more than one page on that website, we will be able to identify them as well, or Lending Tree, or any number of competitors. So anybody in your area, and we know right now that each week there are hundreds, if not thousands, depending on how many zip code areas you're working in, of people that are doing this type of activity online. So once those keystrokes happen, we collect those names on a weekly basis, and we start sending them your personalized digital ads, which I'll show you what those look like. So within at least 7 days, if not less, of someone typing in anything that has to do with mortgages or your competitors in your area, they'll start receiving your digital ads. While they're receiving those ads, they'll also get your personalized postcard in the mail as well. So we have found that the effectiveness of these 2 together has been much more than either of them by themselves. So it's a very strong combination that is happening. But again, the focus is not so much on whether postcards work or digital ads work, because these are your creatives that were provided to us that are already proven to be working. The idea is who we're sending these pieces to. So is this effective? These brands have been using this technology exactly as we're describing it for over 18 months minimum, and they're doing it on a national scale. So every Ford dealership in the country, Kia Motors, also GM, the new Cadillac electric rollout is using this technology. Ashley Furniture, the PGA, United Healthcare, Dell Computer, JB Hunt, HelloFresh. So there's a lot of brands that are already using this. In the mortgage market specifically, there are very few, and there are no national ones. So there have been a couple of locals that have tried it here and there, but nothing at the scale of rollout that we're offering and presenting and have set up for UHM. Questions so far? Okay, it's a quiet crowd. Okay, I'm going to switch right over to show you the portal itself, and from there, we'll answer any questions you might have.
Hey, so Luke, this is Tim. I thought I would just reiterate that the big let me just explain my position here, you guys. I ran into DDK a year ago. They explained this concept. They wanted to roll it out to the mortgage world. And I said, sign me up. I love it. And they said, well, we're not looking to sign you up, Tim Perry. We're looking to sign up your company. So, you know, they spent a lot of time with UHM marketing, Will in particular, putting all this together so that they could roll it out to the company. And there's all kinds of cool stuff with it. But in my way of simplifying and thinking about it, the real benefit to this is, I mean, it's marketing, which we're all familiar with, and we've all done marketing. I've, you know, bought shopping cart ads and done mailers and beat my database to death and, you know, wined and dined realtors forever. But this DDK process is the cool thing about it is they find people online who are shopping for mortgages. And once they identify them, it's just old fashioned marketing. They send whatever marketing pieces we tell them we want sent. They send them to those people via digital ads and postcards. So once the marketing pieces go out, hopefully our phone starts ringing because these active shoppers that DDK found that are in our areas are going to receive our stuff and hopefully call us. And that's really all it is, all there is to it. But the cool part in my mind is that they find people that are actively looking. So, you know, here I am mailing to people in my country club directory and putting ads in these, you know, magazines and whatnot, you know, and it's a shotgun approach. This at least targets people who have demonstrated some type of behavior that would indicate that they're looking for a mortgage. So it's hopefully a better pinpointed use of our marketing dollars.
Great, thanks, Tim. Can you see my DDK marketing sign on screen now?
I can, if you're asking me.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Yeah, generally, I just want to make sure. Okay, good. So with the sign-in information that you received, and if you haven't, please contact Tim and or Turi. He has emailed you as well, and he's on this call also, and he's here to help you anytime you have questions. So if you don't have that, he will send that to you. But if you do, this is where you're going to insert your, of course, your contact information, and then your password. And this will get you into the portal. Now, this portal is mobile friendly, so you can use it on your phone, you can use it on your computer. The first thing that you're going to see won't look exactly like this today when you sign in because you haven't started, but this is going to provide you just a quick snapshot so you have that comfort and that knowledge and that visual that your program is still running and what's happening each week. So the packages are offered in blocks of 50 contacts per week, as you'll see. So you'll see that each week, if you signed up for 100 contacts, you'll see and ensure that 100 went out that week. Why is this important? Because if it ever falls below that, which we've never seen, but if it does fall below that, then we will contact you and say, hey, Tim, we know you signed up for 100. We qualified only 85. So maybe we need to, you know, here's some options, here's some ideas, expand your zip area, etc. The other thing that's, oh, go ahead.
So that means if I pay you guys the standard amount, which would get me 50 contacts per week, if you can't find 50 and I've already paid you for 50, you're gonna advise me to expand my territory so that you can find me the amount of contacts that I've paid you to find, correct?
Yes, correct. And we're only going to charge you for the contacts that we make. We don't charge for anything else. There's no false leads. There's no empty ones. If we find 58 instead of 100, we will tell you, and that's the only amount you'll get billed for. It's extremely rare, but where it could happen is if you say, okay, I want to max out my area. This is really working. I've been doing it for 6 months, like Ford did. And they said, okay, we want to do it for every dealership all over the country. This second number down here, this blue, is telling you what your potential is that we're seeing on a week-to-week basis. So we may be pulling 50 or 100 leads for you, but we're looking at that area and we have a good idea of how many there are. So for example, we were working with somebody last week. They've signed up for 50 leads a week and they like it. And they said, well, how far could we go? And in their case, they had about 1,500 leads a week that they could be going to. So they've got a lot of flexibility there on how to make that decision. The second side is just to give you an indication of these. Again, this is meant to be hands off. So ideally, you can click and forget and know this is working and not have to even come back and pay attention. But it is good to know what's left of your fuel tank. So if you've purchased a package and that package runs for X number of weeks, then you're going to see an indicator here of what you have left in that package and when it's time to refill if you'd like. So each of these have little explanations over them as well. And again, you can always talk with Turi or your account manager directly, but it's just to give you a quick snapshot. Because the program runs without you doing anything, we like to have this visual in there so you know that it is actually working from week to week. There's another place you'll see that as well that's even more important. But again, this gives you a quick snapshot. The second thing you'll see is the first time you go on, we will have preloaded your contact information, which we received from UHM Corporate. So any information that we're able to receive, your profile image and your name and your contact information should be preloaded. And you have the ability to go in here and change and correct any of it. So obviously, so you can make any changes that you need on here. If you need to update your email address, anything down here. A real important one is this line right here called website, because this is where we're going to track anybody that clicks on your digital ad. And I'll show you that in the proofing stage. So this link is very important, that it is the accurate and the specific link that you would want someone to go to when they receive your digital ad. This next area is pretty important as well. Oh, I'm sorry, be sure to do what I didn't do. Be sure to click your updates here. It'll let you know. So there we go. It'll let us know if there's an error for whatever it is already exists. Maybe there's a duplicate site in here. Who knows? Anyway, we will move on from there. That was not deliberate, but it gives you an indication. If you do it wrong, it'll tell you. Or again, if there's a duplicate, let's say that again, maybe we preloaded something incorrectly in here, it'll let us know. The next piece is your marketing zip code. So this is important because, excuse me, these are going to be the areas that you want to focus on in order of priority. So at first, Tim said, I really want to focus on 46360. Great, that's where everything will come from, unless there's not enough in there, then we need additional zip codes, or unless you want more leads. So whatever order you provide these to us in is the order that we will pull your leads from. So again, what that means is we're running this program each week. Each week, we'll contact the most recently active people in the zip code areas that you've, in the order of the zip codes that you've provided. Does that make sense? I'll assume it does until somebody interrupts me. And the next piece is billing information. So we manage thousands of transactions a month through our portal online. We manage it through Heartland Payment. There's information in here about the security of it. So Turi nor anybody else has any contact, any specific card information that we keep at DDK. It's all passed through securely to, again, to Heartland Payroll. All right. Now, so your contact information, once you've confirmed all that, updated it, the next piece is to go into the actual campaign creative themselves. So what happens here is you pick the piece, the mail type, digital and online, digital and direct mail that you would like. So these are the pieces that were provided to us by UHM. We have clients that have many, many more pieces. We have some clients that have fewer. So you can have additional creatives added. We need to conform, of course, to Union Home guidelines. But again, we work directly with Will and his team. So this is what is available now. The very interesting thing about this, we feel, the very unique thing, is once you pick the campaign, you're going to see the front and the back of it, and it's going to be generic right now. And the digital ad is going to be generic. And to save time, I'm not going to click on that yet because I'm going to show you in a moment. But if this is the card that you choose, then you go ahead and hit accept. The next thing we need to do is one more time confirm that this is the information that you want to be produced on those pieces. This is the personalization level, aside from your profile image, that you need to have created. Once that's done, now we're going to actually create the proof for you. So you will see the physical piece with your personalization, your contact information, both the digital ad, and we're also, while this little progress bar is going, we're also created the digital ad personalized to you as well. So both of these are here for you to see and approve. So this is your postcard. This is the back of it, because right now the front of it has no personalization on it. But the back of it has all of Tim's contact information. So any updates I put in here will be flowing in here as well. So this looks good. This is exactly what is going to go out in the mail each week to your prospects until you come in and make a change to the creative.
So sorry to interrupt. So Tim Brigham brought up a good point, or a good question yesterday. We did, or 2 days ago. And he said, well, what if I don't like this marketing stuff? I want to be a little more aggressive. I want to have something that'll maybe grab them quicker, in my opinion. And Union Home and DDK develop stuff, but it doesn't mean you can't develop your own stuff or have different things other than this, or instead of this stuff.
Yeah, actually, Union Home developed all of this. We didn't develop any of it. What we do is create the ability to personalize those pieces. And in this case, this was a digital ad while Tim was sharing that. Thanks, Tim. And this will be a live link on that digital ad that they could click on to go to Tim's website. So yes, if you have anything different, that any kind of different creative that you'd like to, that would be a conversation you can have with Turi directly, and he can guide you through that. So each of these creatives has their own. Some of the digital ads are shared, but each of these has the digital ad is associated with the creative itself. So again, they're going to get that digital ad. They'll see your name on the back of that digital ad. They may or may not click on it, but again, they're going to also get the postcard to reinforce those ads as well. Questions so far? I'm going to do this one more time for you because I bounced out of it before I wanted to show you the completion as well, what you do next. So again, we're creating that personalized ad. The digital ad is going to be aligned with the postcard itself. Once I see it, I won't play it for you again because you'll have the ability to go in and play with this at free will. Then you approve it. Once you approve the ad that's been personalized and all the information is correct, then you've got your options for the packages themselves. So each package correlates to less than $4 per person. What you get for that $4 is, again, this is somebody that has been looking online within the last 7 days. They are going to get 14 digital ads from you, and they are going to also receive, not 14 digital ads, 24 digital ads, 2 per day for 12 days, and they're going to receive 1 digital postcard from you. So that is a package. That's $7.90 a month for those 50 contacts per week or 200 contacts per month. You also have the ability, if you'd like, again, as we mentioned, the program's working. 50 a month is resulting in the response that you're happy with. You can update and add additional packages at any time. Once again, it's going to double check your billing information that's already that you've already entered, and then you're going to get a confirmation of, again, your order details, your proofs, your billing details, and you place your order. You're good to go. What you'll receive.
Yeah. So one more rude interruption. Those are personalized digital ads. So they'll say Tim Perry on them, for example, right? And can you explain to everybody, because I wasn't sure about this, maybe the rest of these guys know, but how does a digital ad work? What is that?
Sure, good question. So digital ad is a method of communicating to individuals without being really disruptive. So it doesn't pop up on their phone. It's not a text ad. Where it comes up is any number of domains that individual person is going to. So if I'm sure everybody's familiar with Google Ads or things like that, where you're looking at a Nike ad and then you go to ESPN.com and that Nike shoe may come up on that digital ad. So that's the type of fashion that this is served to. The difference is we're not serving this to a group of people that are anonymously identified by their clicks. We're sending these only to those 50 individuals that received or that we identified as being actively looking. So we will report back on the top domains that people are seeing these ads on. So we'll monitor these digital ads for you and with you. There's a lot of different tools that we have to help you understand, are these working? Are people watching them? Where are they most frequently seeing them in your specific area? Are they watching them all the way through? We can also identify if they clicked on the ad, or and a lot of times we find that people don't click on the ad, but after they get the postcard, then they go to your website. They reinforce each other, and we have the ability to track that as well. So as we progress with each other and work with you, there are additional tools and insights that we'll give you to help kind of sharpen your targeting even more.
So let's say, for example, I'm going to buy a house in Crown Point, Indiana. And there's this guy named Dave Ellingson down there that claims to be a loan officer. And so I go on my phone and I go to Lending Tree. Okay. And because I'm in Dave's area, you guys will identify me as having gone to that competitive website. And if Dave is your client doing this, then I, as the consumer, would receive a postcard in the mail from Dave, and then I would receive 24 digital ads. So when I go later on to Fox News, Dave will show up. When I go to ESPN.com, Dave will show up. And when I'm perusing around the internet like I like to do, Dave is going to keep popping up over the next couple of weeks to remind me to call him to get a mortgage.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Now, digital ads are served. So if we serve 24, that doesn't mean that all those 50 contacts are going to see all 24 ads, right? It depends what their activity is, what the ad space is, and so forth. But they're going to see a high number of them. And again, we will, all those companies that I mentioned before, their click-through rates for these type of ads are above the industry average. So the industry average is around 0.5% for a click-through rate for a digital ad. That's like a Google ad or anything else. We're seeing anywhere from 25 to 100% higher than that. Now, that doesn't guarantee that that's going to turn into a customer, but it does show us that these digital ads are being served to and being seen by the people that are more likely to be interested in them than a blanket send out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I forgot one more thing. So after I'm identified as a customer, a potential customer by my Lending Tree visit, and Dave sends me digital ads and the postcard, Dave will also, from DDK, get my email address, right? You guys would send him my email address, and then it's up to Dave to put me into his CRM and start to market to me.
Yes, you're one step ahead of me. You're stealing my thunder.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
No, these are good questions. Thank you. Also, Tim asked, chatted with me and asked if you can look up a zip code and get an idea if there's enough activity, and that answer is absolutely. So that would be, provide that any kind of list of zips that you would like to Turi, and we can give you some pretty accurate idea of what's going on in those particular zip codes. Yes, we're happy to do that. We love knowing that ahead of time. So feel free to, any of you and all of you, feel free to provide those zips to Turi, and we can provide you a history on that. Now, there's one really very important thing here that I haven't shared with you yet. Another advantage to this. This is your order history page. So this is showing from most recent to when you started each week, your order history of what was sent out. And why this is important to you is not just to see what was sent out and that those contacts were actually made, but this little button right here called your email list. So each week you can sign in and download the email address of those 50 contacts. So not only are they receiving the digital ad and the postcard, but they can also receive a personalized email or a series of emails directly from you. So you can pick and choose what you want to do with this email address. You can send them a follow-up. You can call out that, hey, a digital mailer is coming. Be sure to, or my postcard offer is coming soon. Be sure to look for it. Whatever you want to do. The only restriction around the email list itself is that you legally, from a Privacy Act, we can't call out that individual's activity. So, and you wouldn't anyway, that's common sense. So you wouldn't say, hey, Tim, we saw that you were, Googling for a mortgage calculator yesterday at 3 o'clock. We'd love to talk to you. So the only thing is not calling out their activity in terms of how they were identified. And also giving them, and UHM already follows these guidelines, giving them the standard ability to opt out and being clear that it's coming from UHM. All the things that you're already doing, with the exception of, maybe identifying how they found them. So there are specific guidelines about the email usage you can click on here, but I covered 99% of it. But again, right here is your ability. You can download that email list each week, or you can group them together, download on a monthly basis. You're free to use that. So that's a big piece. We cannot legally give you their physical address, but we can give you their email address, and we can match that email address back to who is clicking on the ad, and you'll have that ability as well. That's a big piece that we're really excited about sharing as well. Any questions on that?
Hey, Kent, there are some questions in the chat box if you want to take a look.
Oh,
at
sure.
those.
Yeah, this is Luke. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Luke.
No, that's okay. All right. So let's pause for a minute and kind of take a look at these. Thanks for calling my attention to it. Okay. So again, Tim asked if we could look up a zip code by area. We could certainly do that on multiple zip codes. If zip codes overlap, how do we determine who uses which zip codes? In that, we can't wait to have that problem, but in that situation, what will happen is, let's say that 2 people buy a package of 100 contacts in those zip codes. If there are 1,000 contacts in those zip codes, then we're going to prioritize those first 200 and split them between those 2 people. So we're those 200 contacts. So we're not going to double up on contacts ever. If 2 people sign up for an area and there aren't enough leads, then we will contact both of them, and we'll deal with that situation on a case-by-case basis. But in no case will we duplicate a loan officer and into a single contact. Does that answer that question, Travis? He's on mute. So if it's easier, you can chat me too. Okay, and then the second.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, good. And then the third question, just for clarification, you'll put us in front of 200 people. It's entirely up to them to contact us. Yes, with the exception that you may contact them again through the email list. So you'll get that email list. This program runs Tuesday to Tuesday. So if you sign on sometime during the day on Tuesday, depending on when I get our downloads and everything set up, by Tuesday end of day for sure, you'll be able to download that list and you can begin contacting those individuals as well. So your contact can be through email to them, but it is up to them to click on the ad, of course, or call you and respond to the mailer. Good questions. And then the other piece on here right now is the FAQ page, which answers some of these questions and hopefully a lot more. So, and we'll add to this as more questions come in. But again, you've always got your account manager, Turi, right now is available for all of you. He's very knowledgeable in this and been doing this for years and years. So Turi is a great help for you. You've got a direct line to him as well as his email address. So that's the program. We're really excited to show it to you. Again, you're primarily, you should be already set up. So you can go in and get started whenever you'd like. You can, again, call Turi if you have questions. You can provide us with zip code areas if you'd like to see what's happening and what that volume looks like before you commit to a zip code. And you can do that anytime along the program as well. If you have questions, hey, I'm looking at maybe expand to this zip code, what's that activity look like? We can share that information with you.
I have two questions. Can I ask two real quick?
Please.
Okay.
Mhm.
One is, do we get to pick the keyword search, or do you guys pick that?
That's a great question. You can provide us with additional keywords, but we cannot have them to an individual location. So if you say, I want mortgage lenders in Evanston, Illinois, we're not able to do that because of the technology for keyword identification.
Mhm.
It's limited to 200. So how does that help you? Well, in two ways. One is if someone says mortgage lenders in, whatever it is, we're going to identify it. So we don't need something as specific as a geographic area, because it's called fuzzy logic. It'll pick that up. Okay.
Okay.
Or mortgage lenders near me. So that will cover, that would cover the majority of the local territory type keyword searches. The second thing is that the keywords that we've identified, and we have room for additionals. Again, we're open to any and all, but we've used some pretty strong search engine tools to identify UHM's most frequently hit keywords, UHM's missing keywords that your top competitors are getting flagged on, and what's called weak keywords. Those are the ones that you're not ranking on Google search as high as your competitors. So we've made a combination of all three of those to develop this keyword list. Happy to share it with any and all of you if you'd like to get that far into the weeds. But yeah, so we'll definitely take input in and additional words.
I just wondered if we could put in our competitors, like if they're searching a certain institution near us for mortgage, can we put that name in there to catch their customers?
That competitor's name?
Like you had Rocket as an example,
Yes.
right? If we have two key competitors here in our market, can we put them in there sort of like Rocket?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
what I wanted. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
One thing that I asked a while ago on the same subject is I said, like, well, my competitor is Guaranteed Rate, but the guy at Guaranteed Rate is Chris Varco. So I wanted to use his name as a keyword, and that's a no-no apparently. So we can do Guaranteed Rate. We can't do the guy's name though.
So we can do a company, not a name. Okay. Well, that helps though, because I got names too. Okay.
Good.
So we'll do company.
Yeah, and that's important to know because it's kind of a segue to privacy. So just so you all know, we are 100% in compliance with all privacy laws, and there are also volunteer marketing privacy apps that we're actively involved in as well. So any information that we provide you and the way that we provide that for you is all completely in line with all of that. You hear a lot of information about cookies going away in the future. None of this is dependent on cookies. So this program is here to stay. We're in line again with all of those compliances. So sometimes if we tell you something like, well, we can't tell you that they actually came from Rocket Mortgage, we can just tell you that they came from your competitor's website. That's why. Or in Tim's example, that's why there's some restrictions to this, but they're limited to, again, privacy laws that we want to protect you and us around.
Okay.
So Luke, I didn't know about that cookies were going to go away until I started talking to you guys. Maybe you can give a quick overview about that for the group.
Sure. Well, we all get our happy updates for iOS or Android about every week. And when you're on your browser, you get all these updates. A lot of these updates that come through when you read the clarification on them, a lot of them are around being able to track or not being able to track or opting out being tracked on your phone and on your computer. And a lot of that has to do with something called a cookie that is placed on your computer. So certain brands can sell your activity to other brands. That's why your Nike ad shows up on Facebook, very simplistically. That ability for a brand to put a cookie on your website is going away. Google has eliminated it completely. I think after this year, iOS is getting very strict around it. So a lot of the traditional ways that people are marketing online is getting is getting threatened and is needing to be redesigned. So this technology we specifically chose because it was not originated around cookie technology. It does not rely on it. So we are not only in compliance with what is happening around the privacy, but we're not in danger of the technologies as they're changing and privacy is becoming stricter. Probably too long of an explanation, Tim. But we all see that, right? This website uses cookies. Click here to accept. We don't use cookies, so we don't have to have those statements.
Well, I think that's important, and it's important that you are obviously you need to be compliant because we are super compliant with everything and don't want to get into any trouble of any sort. So UHM vetted the DDK process, and that's how we got to this point. But so that's critical. But in my simplistic way of looking at the world through my loan officer eyes, I just want a marketing program where I don't have to mess around with Excel or stuff envelopes or figure out programs or know how to do stuff. I want to pay you guys, have you identify customers that are in my area, and have you market to them. And then hopefully, God willing, my phone rings. That's what I want.
Good. That's what we've created for you.
Okay, can I ask my one other question then?
Yes, please. These are great.
Okay, so I saw, obviously we're gonna sign up for however many leads and stuff we want. Is this like a contractual thing for a full year? Is it month to month? How does that work for if we think it's working or it's not working for us, or how does that work? Do we have a way out, or
Yes.
are we locked in for a year?
Well, we'd love to lock you in for a year, but there's no contract. I'll go back here. There's no contractual agreement to this. The program itself is designed to run on a 6-month cycle, month to month. Should and this is not a sprint, right? So are you going to get a lead that first week? We'd love you to, but you may or may not. So if you look in the fine print, if you will, this is a program is meant to run for a 6-month period. But again, there is not a contractual agreement with UHM to run this. We believe in this program. We believe that 6 months is going to give you a good indication of the success of this program for you, but you are not obligated financially to pay for the full 6 months if for whatever reason you feel it's not working for you.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hey, Tim,
Yes, I am.
got a certified letter for you.
All right.
Tim, was that for us, or are you having another conversation?
That's not for you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Did that answer your question?
Sorry, yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Did you have another one? I'm sorry.
Nope, those are my two. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, you all obviously know how to contact Tim, and Turi is available to you, and we'd love to get started with you. We're ready to go. So anybody that signs up this week or next week, it's the following Tuesday is when we start collecting names, and we'll go from there. So we'd love to have you join us and start seeing some success.
Hey, last question. When you say start collecting names, that means I sign up, give you my zip codes, and you start to identify people within my zip codes who are shopping, and then the marketing happens shortly thereafter. Yes?
Correct. So on this order confirmation, you'll see your order's been placed. Your campaign will begin the next weekly cycle. Campaigns run Tuesday to Tuesday. So today's Thursday, you sign up today. Starting Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, April 3rd or whatever, we will collect names all next week. We'll grab those most recent 50, and that following Tuesday, your ads go out. And every Tuesday thereafter, of course.
Sounds cool to me. Brigham is signing up.
Very
I'm
cool.
signing up. I hope the rest of you guys consider it. And, I think a lot of people want to wait and see what happens. And the wait, which is always fine, but the wait and see what happens is It's like saying, well, let's wait to see how effective marketing is, which, how do you figure that out? In my mind, I'm like, well, they're going to identify people who are shopping for houses. That's the cool thing that nobody else has been able to figure out. And once those people are identified, hopefully, good old marketing works, which we all believe it does because we all market. But the difference here is they're going to identify not our database. They're not going to look at our database. They're not going to look at our country club roster. They're not going to look at our high school yearbook, list of names and addresses that we've marketed to forever. They're going to find people who have identified a behavior in which would indicate they're looking for a mortgage, and they're going to start to market to them for us within our area. So that's what I think is cool. So I do appreciate everybody checking it out. I like it, and I hope it all works out for everybody. And feel free to call me or email me with any questions you guys might have.
Great. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, everybody, for
All right.
joining us.
Thanks, Luke. Great job.
Thank you. We look forward to talking to you all soon.
All right.